Hey everybody, Josh Smith here, Sweetwater Studios. Excited to be here, always love coming here. And today I kind of wanted to sit down and talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, but I think sometimes people miss the link between great rhythm guitar playing and great soloing. Rhythm guitar is obviously half the game, and if you want to make a living as a guitar player, sometimes it's 90% of the game, or even 100%, depending on the job you're doing. So it's easy to overlook it for the fun stuff, the soloing. But I mean, I've spent equal amounts of time working on my rhythm guitar as I have on my improvising and my soloing. The thing that I didn't realize as a kid that was so amazing was the more I worked on my rhythm guitar playing, the better my soloing became. When you work on that pocket and building the internal clock inside you and strengthening like this connection and bond between, your time and feel and your hands, it can't help but make your phrasing better when you solo. So I'm going to give a few examples of how that seemed to create light bulb moments for me and just really help me improve my soloing and phrasing. I used to be obsessed with finding new ways to play whatever groove it was I was going to have to play on a gig. So, as a kid, I was lucky to play a lot of gigs, and a lot of them were blues gigs. And so I'd know we'd have a lot of shuffles coming up one night. So I'd sit there and work on a shuffle and play something like this. Right? So I'd play that 12 bars by myself. I'd be sitting on the edge of the bed just playing until it felt really good like that. Obviously you can hear the shuffle, you can hear the time, and it feels really good. But in my head I'd be hearing answers to that time, almost as if I was a horn section. So I would continue to sit there and play and embellish. I would do things like fill in the gaps to that same time, and without knowing it, I was strengthening my internal clock. I'd do stuff like this. Right? Until, I could almost feel that groove so much that whatever I did when I differentiated from it or went away from it, I wouldn't lose it. I would come back to it. And I'd get crazier with it. I'd do things like... Again, you never lose that pocket, that feel, and it really strengthened my clock. And by that I mean the time that you have kind of inside you, not just metronomic time, but that ability to subdivide the beat. So when I'm feeling that bump, bump, ba-bum, ba-bump, bump, I can go anywhere. I can double time. And again, all of a sudden that stuff becomes available to me. You can hear I doubled up and then I straightened out the time on top of it and played straight eighth notes over that shuffle beat. So really this stuff makes you a better soloist because you start to be able to subdivide the beat and feel things. So then after I kind of realized that this was helping my playing, I took that approach to every groove that mattered to me. So I'd be sitting on the edge of my bed and another, feel or song or vibe would come up, maybe a funk thing, maybe I'd be playing. Right, and that's my bum ba. So in my head, I'm already hearing bum ba da ba da bum ba da dum bum bum ba da da bum bum ba da ba da. So I'd start doing that. I'd start breaking it up. right? Until almost I could play anything and you will never lose that pulse. And then again, that starts informing my playing. As that's going on, I'm already hearing bum ba da bum 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 ba da bum ba da ba 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 da. You know, stuff like that in the gaps, your rhythm and that internal pulse just gets so strong that you can't help but feel all that stuff and start to be able to subdivide the beats in more natural ways. And again, next thing you know, your solos become more lyrical, they become more in the pocket, you become more able to kind of adjust on the fly and improvise based on what's going on rhythmically, what the rest of the band is doing. So I think people tend to overlook that link between rhythm guitar and soloing. When you're playing rhythm guitar, whatever it is, if it's a James Brown, that's an improvisation. You know, even though I'm locked in and I didn't change, there's always the ability for me to go. Whatever. That ability to kind of improvise with time is what separates kind of, the upper echelon players from everyday players. Time is the great divider, and the best way to strengthen your time and your relationship between the internal clock you have in your hands is to practice rhythm guitar. Not just to practice soloing and blowing, because then you don't have context. But when you're blowing in rhythm and feeling that pocket, when you practice the rhythm first and then think of the ideas that go over that, then you have context, you have time, you have feel, and you're going to end up a better improviser and a better soloist.